Okay, so we have yet another MacBook repair. Now hopefully this one will not have a hole through the board like the last one did. So this is an 820-3787 with a customer complaint of intermittent. Basically what they said is that it would power on sometimes and other times it would not. So when you get issues like that, you're most likely going to have issues with your I/O board, trackpad, or some random corrosion under a chip on the board, and that's most likely the case here. So we're going to go over this board and we're going to see if we can see what's causing the intermittent power issues. Or something really common that causes intermittent power issues is caps that are shorting intermittently or caps that are shorting only when there's power applied. That's pretty common. Sometimes you'll get them, they'll work, and other times they won't work. So first thing we notice, the minute we turn on the camera, we have some corroded caps right here. Now I believe these are our two MOSFETs for PP-Bus G3 hot creation, and I'm guessing these are going to be for PP-Bus G3 hot. So I'm going to go over to the board view and confirm that. This is an 820-3787. This is I think around a 2014. Let's open a board view for that. 820-37. Where is it here? So 3787. From random power to random shutdown. This one is random power on, so it sometimes turns on. And those caps are going to be by L7520, I think. Yeah, L7520, and that's for PP5VS4. So if one of those caps is shorting, that could definitely cause it. And this coil is going to be for PP5VS4 creation as well. So we're probably going to replace that inductor as well. It looks nasty, so why not get it off of this board? So we're going to look at the other side too. So GPU area. That's interesting. They're putting edge bonding around U8900 now, or U9300, but you see that even with that edge bonding, those joints still don't look healthy. So we'll probably give that a, no. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And give me 1 second, I'm going to mute. Sorry, store is busy, which is a good thing. Okay, so back to this board. So we notice that there's some more corrosion right here, and this is by our CPU. No, by our CPU controller. The CPU controller looks fine, but that cap doesn't, so we're going to get rid of that cap. Let's see, anything else? ISL 6259 looks great. And that looks like about it. So, first things first, we are going to get rid of this stuff. And then the rest of it, this will get an ultrasonic bath and a new I/O board, because it needs a new I/O board as well. And that's about it. This looks close enough. Yeah, sometimes this industry can be strange. You can be completely dead sometimes, and then it's slammed the next day. It's just how it is, though. Some days are slow, and then the rest of them are just completely slammed, hectic, and crazy. I appreciate you filling in for Rossman after he got sick and puked on that other MacBook. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if that's what happened to that thing. Don't puke on your MacBook. MacBook does not appreciate you puking on it. We're going to remove the fan so I don't melt the fan. People do not like when you give them back melted fans. Melted fans are no good. Good to go right there. These two caps are corroded. We're going to get rid of these guys. Make sure I have those on the donor board, and it doesn't look like I have those on the donor board. We'll figure it out. These ones don't look too good. Get rid of these. We have some junk under one of our RAM chips. That's probably going to cause crashing. So we don't want, I don't like necessarily reflowing the RAM if it's not necessary. So what we're going to do is just put some flux around it. And I think I have to mute again. Like that. And then I swear, people don't even care. Someone outside just opened their door into another car. It's rude. Yeah, I do need someone else in the store to take care of stuff. I need to hire someone soon. The thing is finding someone that I trust to be here. I want to find someone that I can trust to be here and not steal things if I have to run out or go to lunch or something like that. And that's the problem I'm having right now. That, or who's gonna, when I leave, do their job. That's another thing. See, the thing is, if I hire someone, when I leave, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna go play games on your phone when I'm gone? You know, it's one of those things. It's not fun. Clean pads. How much are you gonna pay? If it's just a customer service person, probably 12 an hour or 13 an hour. If it's a tech, a general tech, not a board tech, just disassembling, probably 18 or 20. If it's a board tech, someone smart and good that does their job better than me, 30, 35. I mean, if it's a board tech, I'm gonna pay them good. Because if they fix, you know, 3 boards an hour for $300 each, 35 an hour, or it's going to be more like 45 with taxes and stuff, but that's worth it for that person if they're good. But if you have to constantly go back to them and they constantly need to be walked through stuff, then that's different. You should offer a job to Hi. I have, but I told him if he works here, he cannot leave the store for any reason. So, I don't think he took that offer, unfortunately. So that's good to go. Nice and clean. What we're going to do is put some fresh solder on here. And flux, of course, gotta have flux. Now I'm looking at the California sucks. I want to leave here. I want to work hard in the next 2 to 3 years, get enough money, be able to move the business somewhere else, out of California, far away from California. It's honestly beyond me why anyone wants to live here. I can't figure it out. From what I see, there's no pluses to living here. There's higher taxes. I mean, there's nothing special where you could say, well, the weather. Well, I mean, what about the weather? I mean, it's 19 degrees in the winter, and it's 112 in the summer. It's either extreme. There's nothing special about the weather here. Chris Long is here. What's the rent like out here? For this store, it's 500 square feet. I pay $523 a month, which is honestly cheap. But that's good. I have low overhead. The area that I'm in isn't terrible, not like the rest of California. So Luckily, that's good. The area that I'm in is not a terrible place. Go to Los Angeles, I would not have a business in Los Angeles. Just like New York City, it's like I don't want to go home and fear that my stuff is going to get taken every single night, you know? It is cheap. Oh, home rents, it depends. First apartment, usually it's going to be over 1,200. But again, what do you want, you know? If I was to move, I really want out of the city. Well, I'm not in a big city. I'm in Palmdale. We have a population of 156,000, but that's neighboring Lancaster. Lancaster has around the same population, so there's a decent amount of people. The thing with Lancaster is Lancaster has been run by extremely poor management, and it's just falling apart. It gets worse and worse and worse. You know, I've known someone that almost got their vehicle stolen. They went to the sheriff's station, waited and waited. Finally, they called 911, and they told them, you have to wait in the sheriff's station to get a police report. They would not come out. It's terrible. If someone robs you, what is this? You have to go to the police station to file a report. They won't come. You know, what are they going to do with the report? Nothing. One thing Palmdale does have right down the street from my shop is Air Force Plant 42. They are the second largest employer in the area, and one second here. You have Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop, all those companies, which is excellent for stuff like this. And if I do hire someone, it would probably be someone from there, I'd imagine. But you know, 40,000 people work down the street from my shop, which is excellent. 13-inch with an onboard SSD. Why do I always miss the drilling through boards parts of your streams? I don't know. You had to have switched tabs, because I dug through it like 20 minutes ago. This is a different board, though. Back to Chris Long's comment. Tim, I was disappointed today. I had a 13-inch with onboard SSD, got it booting, but SSD didn't recognize, never could get it solved before customer got impatient. 13-inch Retina, most likely you have an issue. It's probably not getting power. It's a common fault. U35, whatever. Miss Sarah, there will be more boards that I have to drill through, trust me. Or I could just send them all to you. That's probably a better idea, because I don't want to do them anymore. California sucks. I'm down in Lake Elsinore. Yeah, it does suck. I can't stand it. Alright, so we have a couple more caps right here. But first, let's address the issue on the other side. I need a better fume extractor. Not good to breathe this stuff every day. I'll be in your area this summer to visit my cousin. He's an engineer for Boeing. Are you coming to Palmdale? Because that's right. The Boeing is right down the street, less than a mile. I think Boeing has a plant in Palmdale too. I mean, in Long Beach too. Yeah, that's true, Chris. I agree with that. The one thing I'll say I do like being here is in this one spot, you're 30 minutes from everything. You're 30 minutes from the mountains, you're 30 minutes from the ocean, you're 30 minutes from Los Angeles, wherever. So it's not a terrible spot. I just don't really like it. It's not the worst spot. Oh, Palmdale, that's where my store is. Stop by. I might call later and talk about job stuff. That's fine. I'm probably going to hire, I'd say probably March, late March, April, May, so. But it's dependent on several factors, you know what I mean? But yeah, give me a call. I don't mind. Alright, so we have two more caps right over here by the RAM we need to replace that I took off. I'm going to try and find a board that has those. And it doesn't look like I'll find a board that has those, which is no fun. Yep, I don't have those on a donor board, so that means I have to go on the schematic and see what value those are. And repair the board. So this is 30, what did I say it was? 3787. And C, oh, those are just for S5. I could leave those off and those would be fine, but professional repair. PDF search. Let's see. Actually, no, those, you need that. 100, that's not going to be a fun one to find. What is this for? Is it for DDR reg? That's 100 microfarad, 0.035 ohm capacitor, 6.3 volts. What circuit is this in? This is for U7501, which is for PP5VS5 creation. And that is important. Very important. Without that, the MOSFET's going to not work properly. What about this other one? C7593. Is the same. So what we need to find is, so this is in the U7501 circuit. We could probably find those same caps on another board. So we have an 82030. 3662 here, so we're going to try and see if this one has the same caps. So 150 microfarad, 0.035 ohm. Another thing, Tony, if you do decide to work here, is I don't know how long I'm going to be in California, so might leave you behind. So I'm trying to find more local people, because I'm going to be in this spot for at least 2 years. Now, this spot is kind of small. I might outgrow it, but I like this area it's in, so I may end up keeping it. But the goal is to make enough money here and just get out of California. $150 microfarad. Let's see if we can find that. And yes, this has the same capacitors on it. So the first one is going to be C7593. I bet these are going to be the same. So 3662. Going to open the board view for that. Where is 3662? Board view open. Oh, these are the same. They're just in a slightly different spot, looks like. Yeah, so here is our patient board right here. See those two caps are there and the coils right here. On the donor board, they're right there and the coils right there, so that's decent. Let me test for ground, because I forgot which way they went. Doctor told me I really need to get a dry climate. The issue I'm having out here is it's with the winter, it's actually, the humidity is actually fairly high. Or maybe it's too dry. All I know is I've been coughing a lot. I don't know what causes that. Most likely it's from the air out here being dry or moist. I have no idea. It could be from all the nonsense I inhale here all day too. Leave him with the franchise. I don't know if I want to have a franchise. I'm honestly probably not going to be doing MacBook repair for... There's no smoke from fires anywhere here right now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this. Most likely within 3 or 5 years I'm only going to be doing biomed board repair, which pays much better. It'll be the same business, I'm probably just not going to be fixing MacBooks. An idea with that is just to get employees to fix the MacBooks, but then it leads me to the next question is if biomed board repair gets busy, then I can have those same employees do that and make more money doing that instead of fixing laptops. So I don't want to hire, iPhone screen changer. I just you know, stuff like that. I want someone to be experienced in electronics. The goal is not to get someone that's experienced in MacBooks, but in electronics themselves. You know, like stuff like, can you tell me what a MOSFET does? Can you tell me what a P-channel MOSFET does? What's the difference between a P-channel and N-channel MOSFET? Stuff like that. So, what we're going to do is plug in a board. Plug in a fan. Because if you know how to fix MacBooks and only MacBooks, that's fine. But what about when MacBooks aren't profitable anymore? Then what? That's why it's good to kind of spread out your skills a little bit, because this isn't going to be around forever, unfortunately. Alright, did Tim mess up the board? Is MacBook going to work? Plug it in. And what's that? That's fan spin. So this is fixed. What we're going to do is get this in the ultrasonic cleaner. The same ultrasonic cleaner that handled the vomit board. Yeah, the funny thing about ultrasonic is most bacteria and stuff is shredded almost instantly. Well, not instantly, but it's usually... Oh, we have some more corrosion over here. Ultrasonic cleaners are generally pretty good at destroying bacteria. Especially when they're at a high temperature. But yeah, here's the thing with repair stores that send stuff like the vomit board, is they're going to get mad at you when you can't fix it. Because the thing is they're going to fix the easy ones before they send it to you. And if you're getting one from them, usually it's only going to be ones that they can't fix. And then they kind of get offended when you tell them, I'm not going to waste all my time on that thing. I know that's dead. I could waste 5 days on that thing and it's going to not work. We're going to peel up this shielding. So we have a little bit of corrosion, a little bit of junk on one of these CPU MOSFETs. Now this is likely fine. Let's see. There's nothing, yeah, we better take care of one of these caps. So the MOSFET is likely fine, and I don't like replacing these MOSFETs because they take a ton of heat to be taken off. So what we're going to do, we're going to replace all 3 of these caps with our iron, and go from there. I don't like replacing these if I don't have to. This is likely just fine. These aren't really like a MOSFET. This is more of a PMIC, not a PMIC, but it's this thing is corroded too. But this has a lot more brains than a MOSFET does. A MOSFET's just a simple switch that has a few pins. This has more than a few pins. So first things first, I'm going to make sure I have those components on a donor board before I start ripping that stuff off. It looks like I do. But they're sideways. Working on this no image board. What board? What's the symptoms? Do you have post? Do you have CPU vCore? Okay, so first things first is this little one, because that's the easiest. That's just for keyboard backlight. It doesn't matter. Just surround that with Oh, iPhone data recovery. Not the person to ask. I have no idea how to work on an iPhone. Last time I worked on an iPhone, I ended up not knowing where the screws went, which is sad. So we have to figure out what value these caps are right here. So open another one for the 3787. So first one is going to be this one. It's a 0.01 microfarad, which is practically, at 0.01 microfarad, that really doesn't have much use on a board. It's just a decoupling cap. It could do without it, but we'll put one on. But if this is shorting to ground intermittently, since this board did have intermittent power issues, that could definitely do it. Now these also have this really poor design of the CPU FETs that crashes randomly. I wouldn't say it's poor design, it's just an issue these have. It could be fine without these, but we will put them back. Should I heat gun? No, better not. Heat gun is quicker, but more chance of killing our CPU, and I really don't want to kill the CPU because I really need a nice, easy board. So what I'm going to do is just remove solder on one of these pads so I can set the cap flat and solder it. It popped as it shut down and never got a light in the charger again. Yeah, that's going to be exploded capacitor somewhere. The thing with those is if you fix it, the GPU is going to die in a month, and then the customer is going to get angry at you saying that, the screen was always fine on it before you touched it, and now the screen isn't fine. Yeah, stay away from 2011s. I had one in here. When I was working on it, the GPU shorted to ground. Not gave lines, it shorted to ground. Dead short on GPU vCore. Yeah, no fun. It could have been the ISL or something exploded too, and if that case, most likely your MOSFETs that are driven by the ISL Q70, 30, and 35 are going to be dead too. Okay, so we have to find replacements for these caps. You know what, I have another board. Let's check this other board. Different layout. Okay. Never had shorted 2915 GPU. How many 2915s have you worked on is my question, because that happens. This is a 3787 right here, so C7339. It's going to be this bottom one. Probably just fix it for... No, don't fix it for free. Don't fix anything for free. I've made that mistake. You can't be too nice to people like that. Charge. Explain to them that there's no warranty if your screen goes funny, though. Yeah, that's what I was doing on the one that shorted to ground, was the GPU disabled, but yeah, junk. Yeah, what I've been doing is quoting people too low when they come in. You know, if they're acting nice, I'll just quote them. I'll give them a discount or something, and I have to stop doing that. Or I'll quote just stupid amounts. Like I had a 2008 MacBook that they said they dropped it on the DC jack, and I said just need a DC jack. I believed them and said, oh, just the DC jack. Okay, so it's a 2008. The part is $10. You know, if it's just the DCN jack, you know, I know you don't want to put too much money on this. I'll do the DCN jack for, you know, $20. And it wasn't a DCN jack, it was a board issue, and then I got myself into a trap. So yeah, don't charge cheaply for anything. And also don't work on stuff from 2008 like I did. It is entirely not worth it. Yeah, the hardware resets seem to be pretty interesting. There's that thing that you put over the mux that someone made. I'm looking to get some of those. I'm not going to run wires like that. Running wires is just stupid for the money that you get for that. You might as well, if you're going to do that, you might as well charge them for a board replacement. Get it at 820-3330 and charge, you know, an additional $200 on the board cost if you're going to do that. It's not worth it. So next one is, I'm guessing, going to be the so on our donor board, the next one up is C7338, which is going to be another 0.01, and I'm guessing that's going to be the exact same on our patient board. Yep. Yeah, all these are the same. So in this case, I'm just going to go blindly into it, replace them, stress test it. If it doesn't crash, excellent. If it crashes, make sure that they're the right value, but I can't tell because Paul Daniels' software is not working right, or my keyboard is not working right. The only one that really matters are going to be C77337, which is a 1 microfarad, and that's probably going to be the same. We're going to trust that these will be the same. So, alright, I'll see you later, Cam. And we're done here. So, this is going to go in the ultrasonic, and I'll be back momentarily. We're going to do 4 minutes each side. Some people use less than that. I like 4 minutes each side. It does a good job. It doesn't harm the board, and it gets everything from under the CPU and GPU and all that might be causing an issue. So 4 minutes. Clean the thermal paste, because if you don't clean the thermal paste off the board, it tends to settle in the bottom of the tank, and that's no good. It blocks the ultrasonic waves. Cleaner's at 70 Celsius too. 70 seems like a good temperature. I got an interesting MacBook I was going to send to you. I just made the ticket. Let me see. No sense in having microscope capture on right now. Let's see. Let's look at your ticket. Screen doesn't update for Apple logo. Laptop was working fine, then went to reinstall OS X, then the screen sticks an Apple logo and you can hear speakers from OS X. That sounds like That doesn't sound like a motherboard issue. That sounds like either something got screwed up in the update. So what I would recommend on that is reload the operating system. Back up your data if you can, wipe the drive, start over. I got more tickets. That doesn't sound like a motherboard issue. Motherboard issues are not that. Trader is here. Hi, Trader. Let's look at the whole board after ultrasonic. You know what's funny is after that whole board, my whole office smells of burning PCB now. You walk in here and it smells like a board just completely went on fire. I'm just going to let this thing dry and then ship this back because... So this is after we ultrasonic the board. I just ultrasonicked it to get some of the flux off, so... But where's that hole? Yeah, there's a hole. Typical hole in board. Right near a CPU MOSFET. Yeah. Destroyed. It does look like it. Looks like the MacBook is screaming. And if the MacBook had 4 eyes. Or wait a second. So, look. You have an eye there, the screaming, the nose, and then hair. Move to Kentucky and we could start up the Rossman repair competition. That would be a good idea. I want to try and get to New York this spring or something to have a board repair competition. Would be fun. A board repair competition with Lewis would be a lot of fun. Hi Tim, been watching your YouTube videos all weekend, didn't realize it was your Facebook group. Yeah, that's my Facebook group. I don't usually run it, I just post stuff. The moderators run it. Okay, so USB has 3115 has no USB, no SATA, no DVD. What I want you to do is look at what all three of those things have in common and go from there. Most likely you're going to have something in common between all of those things. Who will judge the competition? Paul or Justin? most likely. Someone that's not biased. It'll probably just be who can fix the amount of boards quicker. MCP 3115 does not have MCP. 3115 has PCH. Could be a dead PCH. You know, it actually does sound like a PCH issue because the PCH controls USB, SATA, all that. So I'm just cleaning my office a little bit, or cleaning my desk. Anything else? Anything else interesting? Probably not. Except for I have around 250 hard drives now that I need to go through and see what are working or what are not. So this is, you see that pile back there? I have to go through all that to see which one is junk, which one's a donor, and which ones are working. And then maybe sell them as donor drives or fix them. If it's a TVS diode, I could put a new TVS diode on it, test the drive thoroughly, and if it works, could always use it as a backup for one of my stuff, or if someone doesn't want to pay for a new drive. If they're donor drives, and a lot of them have good heads, what I might do is get set up for mechanical drive repair and start doing some data recovery, because no one out here does data recovery. Rossman will pick the boards at random for competition. Oh, I'm going to pick boards at random. Believe me. The thing is, if you want to win a competition with Lewis, what you do is you bribe Paul or Steve into giving you the easy boards. Data recovery is big money, exactly. The thing with the head combs is if you don't want junk, you have to spend thousands of dollars on them. I've tried cheap head combs and they're just not, they won't cut it. So I may end up getting the expensive head combs. It may just be, you know, taking $3,000 and just getting the good head combs if I want to do it, you know. It'll pay for itself in 3 jobs. But the problem is getting people to pay for those too, for the drive repairs. I wonder what's going on. There's people outside my door looking over the fence as if something is going on. So what I'm doing is trying to dry as much of the water out of the board as I can before we bake it. That way it'll be ready to turn on out of baking. So like around the VRAM, below the CPU and GPU. Of course we don't want to overheat anything. We just kind of want to raise the temperature of the board a bit so that when we bake it, the water will evaporate easier. And that's exactly what we did. So this is going to go in the oven around 170, 180 degrees for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then this will be a working board. With that being said, we're going to end this right now. I am going to go stop for some lunch and probably fix some more stuff. So if I can find out where my cursor is, I can end the stream. So thank you for watching, and I'll